Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. Tasliman kathiran. Amma ba'du. My brothers and sisters, I have said this before and I am saying it again, mainly to remind myself more than anything else. And that is the importance of having a goal in life, not living pointlessly, without a direction, without a goal, just existing, breathing. Morning happens, evening happens, सुबह होती है, शाम होती है, इसी तरह ज़िंदगी तमाम होती है. Morning happens, night happens, evening happens. This is how life finishes. That is not the best way of leading your life. What differentiates us from animals is that we, human beings, have long-term goals. An animal also has a goal, which is to fill its belly, or to mate with a female, and so forth. But that is animal life. A human being is distinguished by having long-term goals, and by having goals which are nobler, which are more significant than simply physical fitness and physical survival. And that's why I say three things. One, goal determines direction. If I have no goal, then I can't possibly have any direction in my life. I can't answer the question, what must I do now? Because what I must do now depends on what am I trying to achieve. I may have several options, and it's impossible to choose between options if I don't have a goal to direct myself towards. It's only if I have a goal that I can choose the direction of my life, and I can choose what I need to do, which means which is the best out of the choices that are available to me. The only way to do that is by having a goal. So goal determines direction. Now once we have a goal, we need something else, which is process. Process ensures compliance to principles. Process is critically important because it is possible to achieve any goal in multiple ways. Some of those ways are noble and they are worthy of praise, worthy of emulation, and other goals are ignoble and they are despicable and they are liable to be punished. Now, how do we determine which is which? We determine it by having the right process, complying to certain principles. We are living in a world which is going from having been militarily dominated in the age of empire to being commercially dominated post-empire. Principally, these things are almost impossible to put a date on them, but by and large, if you look at some indicators, after the collapse of the USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, I don't know how many people even remember what USSR fully, the full form of it was, but we have seen that. So after that, a world that became unipolar and got more and more dominated by commercial interests. So we have big economies, the United States economy being far the biggest, and China coming up as both as the possibly in the future by 2030 the biggest market in the world, as well as being hugely productive in terms of manufacture. And therefore, the United States and China have this amazing love-hate relationship of the US sees China as an I won't say enemy, but definitely as a competitor and as an adversary of some sort. But at the same time, both the economies are hugely dependent on each other. You have all kinds of manufacturing facilities for U.S. companies which are in China because of Chinese efficiency in manufacture. So therefore, we are still, and as I said, it's very difficult to draw lines and say this ended and this started. So there's some kind of parallel influence, but it continues. So basically, the biggest driver then became and continues to a great extent today the commercial interest. So the world dominated by commerce, and then we come to a world dominated by technology. So it's the big technology companies, which in some cases have their sales turnover is more than the GDP of many smaller countries. So you have that. If you take, for example, the collective sales turnover of all the technology companies in the United States, it comes to around $50 trillion, which is even more than the GDP of the US itself, several times more, almost 3 times the GDP of the US itself. So it's we're going into that world, which is the world of technology companies. Now, if you look at the world of technology companies, you say, well, how about a world that is run by people who own those and who run those, the CEOs of those technology companies? What will that world look like? What will drive their decision making? And then what runs commonly as a thread through all of this is the people who own the money and run the money, the bankers of the world, the financiers of the world, who take decisions. Now, all of that depends on what drives them. And that is the reason why it is so important to have education which is based on principles and ethics and values, because process ensures compliance to principles and ensures that you reach your goal in a way that is honorable and that is beneficial for all the people in the game, for all those people in the world, especially those who cannot and do not have the power to protect themselves. If you had a principle-based world, you would not be seeing what you're seeing in Gaza today, for example. And the final point is to have metrics, because metrics enables measurement of progress. Unless we have metrics, no matter how indistinct or what should I say, I won't say inaccurate, not inaccurate, but indistinct and indefinite those metrics might be, it is essential to have metrics, because without metrics you have no clue. Are you going backward, forwards? Are you going fast enough, too fast? And so on and so forth. So to quickly sum up, goal is critical because without goal we have no direction. So goal determines direction. Process ensures compliance to principles, and therefore principles are very important to be established, and the process to reach the goal must comply with those principles. And then finally, metrics enables measurement of progress. Metrics enables measurement of progress. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyil karim wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya Allah.